You got two quarterbacks that made the playoffs. They're now in the NFC conference, and most teams really don't know their name, but they know their name. They some pretty darn golf, quarterbacks. Or are they pretty darn good? I don't know. It's a dad joke. You run with it how you want to run with it. But we got to talk about who's the more underrated between the two. Is it Jared Goff, who went to a Super Bowl and got traded? Or is it Brock Purdy, who's Mr. Irrelevant and now in the NFC Championship? Dave, who you think is more underrated?
Um, I'm actually gonna go with Jared Goff.
What?
The reason why I say that is because you look at what happened to him and you look at what happened to him in LA and how they were pretty much happy to be able to get Matt Stafford over Jared Goff. Now I get it that I believe that last season and that Super Bowl left a bad taste in a lot of Rams fans, and they didn't like how it ended. It was a defensive battle. They felt like that offense was actually on fire that year, but in the Super Bowl it just went missing. Jared Goff has proven that he's a really good quarterback. I think that's something that a lot of people had a lot of questions about because he has the tendency to turn the ball over sometimes. He does make some boneheaded decisions. But you look at what he did with his Lions even the last 2 years, he has the Lions in the NFC Championship game. I don't think a lot of people thought that the Lions would make it this far this season. There were some people that believed that they could win the division and even win a playoff game. But to be in the NFC Championship game and be a game away from making the Super Bowl, that's really hard to do, especially in this situation. I mean, you got to think about where all the teams were before the season started. Now, of course, games have to be played. But even when they got the number 2 seed, people thought that the Eagles would still find a way to be able to make it there. They thought the Cowboys would be able to make it there. I mean, and they were the number 3 seed. Sorry, the Cowboys were 2 seed. But they thought that they would be able to make it. The other teams would be able to make it other than the Lions. And the Lions did nothing but win who they had in front of them. They thought that they were going to get upset by the Rams. And the Lions went out there and won that game. And then they pretty much had just about a shootout with the Bucks, and Jared Goff just played a good game. Jared Goff to me is more underrated just because of the stigma that was with him, saying that he couldn't read defenses or nothing like that. He wasn't able to call plays by himself. That he needed a head coach in his ear to be able to be a successful quarterback. Now, if you look at Brock Purdy's situation, yes, he's Mr. Irrelevant. But he also has a top 3 defense that he's had both seasons he's been there. He came in a great situation with the best running back in the league, 2 really good wide receivers. Some may say the best tight end in the league. Some people still say Travis Kelce, but if you look at a dual tight end, I believe that Kittle is the better because he's a better blocker and a better pass catcher. If you look at what he does as a tight end. And a lot of people are really going to give that credit to Kyle Shanahan. And if you look at what Brock Purdy did in college, he pretty much is doing the same thing now. And if I remember correctly, only one of these 2 quarterbacks went in MVP conversations, and that's Brock Purdy. Jared Goff was not in these conversations, even though he was having a pretty good season. So for me, I'm going to say Jared Goff.
Now, for me, it was this was interesting because I looked at it and I said, well, you got to think about Purdy and his MVP race. They're like, well, without all this, and this, who is he? And also, like, he came in out of nowhere, Mr. Irrelevant, wasn't really supposed to be in the league. Nobody's looking at it. Okay, so then you got to revert back again to what we were saying. Okay, so CMC's not there. Can he win a game? He can try. I mean, they missed a field goal. If Debo's not there, can he win a game? He just did it against the Packers in a playoff game. If he doesn't get hurt, can he beat the Eagles last year in that divisional round? Well, we don't know, but technically he got back again. So there's always questions about this guy. But Dave, we're on the same page. I'm going with Jared Goff too, because he literally got a team to the Super Bowl, and then he just got swept under the rug. When we talk about the offseason, we were talking about, well, this is the moment where Dak and Jalen Hurts needs to propel, because once Aaron Rodgers got traded, these are the two best quarterbacks in the conference. And most people were like, well, you still got Derek Carr. And then somebody else would throw out another name, and then it would be 5 more names before someone gets to Jared Goff. And it was like, wait, Jared Goff still in the division? Some people even threw Jordan Love out there before him.
Yeah, they even mentioned Kirk Cousins too.
There we go. So even the two quarterbacks in his division, he still got overlooked because, again, that stigma or narrative that was with him. Somebody has to give him the play right before the mic cuts out. He can't read the defense. He's going to give a blunder where he throws the ball away. Most quarterbacks in your top 3 have this same situation where they have turnover-prone situations. But again, playing on the Detroit Lions, getting traded from a team that you just took to the Super Bowl, a lot of people didn't really look at his talent. And when Jared Goff is clicking, he's good. And everything around him is good. He's good. So I'm going to say, as far as underrated, I'm going Jared Goff too.
I'm going Purdy. I think Jared Goff is rated exactly what he should be. I think people do give him respect. People actually look at the NFC doing it throughout the year. They even put people will rank him above Stafford until Stafford won that run. You might think otherwise, but before that, it was no order. These guys were above him. Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and that was it. And then people will say Goff was third in the NFC, right? And you might put Kirk Cousins in there, but it was a talk about that. So Purdy, on the other hand, this guy was an MVP candidate, and people didn't want to give him credit for that. People kept saying, oh, McCaffrey, oh, it's this. Look at him without weapons. They did everything he said. We want to see him have a bad game, but then turn around. And because when you have a good game, he gets no credit. We want to see him have a bad game and turn around and lead him to a drive. He did that, and people still say, that was nice, but I still don't believe him. It's like, and then Jared Goff, I'm not trying to take away from Jared Goff. Like I said, I think he's perfectly rated because he also has weapons around him. Also, he has another boy genius as a offensive coordinator that everybody is dying to have as a head coach. Like everybody want Ben Johnson, right? And we saw like when he had Sean McVay. Sean McVay traded for him and actually won a Super Bowl. So I think where he's at right now is perfect. The 49ers, he breaking all the 49er records, and he still is looked at the weakest link on the team. Like Jared Goff is not looked like that at all. Jared Goff is actually one of the reasons why people are picking the lines with the 49ers. And Brock Purdy is a reason why people are picking the lines with the 49ers. So I think Brock Purdy is slightly underrated, and I think Jared Goff is rated exactly what he should be.
That's true. It's an interesting way to look at it, but I'm sorry, Joe. There's no negative stigma that's gonna follow Brock Purdy around if he gets traded from this team. Outside of can he do it without weapons, and he's already shown that. No matter where Jared Goff goes or what he does in this playoffs, they're still going to revert back to that at some point in a debate. Again, Detroit is not supposed to be here, but it's funny because everybody looks at Detroit the same way they look at Jared Goff. It's like, okay, can you do it? Because there's a negative stigma with Detroit too. There's like, y'all not known for winning games. That's why the city going so crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I give him credit. Only 4 quarterbacks since 2000 led two different teams to the conference championship game. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Kurt Warner, and Jared Goff.
Well, I mean, now we'll leave it to the comments. Y'all say what y'all got to say in the comments. We'll address it there. But we definitely got to get to this next topic here.
Because, I got one last comment.
Go ahead.
Jared Goff also has an opportunity to do something the last 18 quarterbacks have not been able to do, and he's one of these. He has an opportunity to get back to the Super Bowl.
And when? Oh, you're right. Get back. Okay, you're right. Get back. You're right. That's right.
I'm so glad it's him. I'm just glad it's him. That's all I'm saying. I ain't saying they gonna beat y'all, Dave, but I'm just glad his name is up there. And there's not another one. You know what I mean?
I got you. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, And also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.